I know Malcolm's the one in hospital, but it's Beatty I feel sorry for.
She's not the one with the heart attack.
If she knew about the women he runs around with, she might be. Oh, no, it's not funny, Terry. If you work all day at the office and spend all your spare time chasing after other women, you're bound to neglect your wife.
You don't feel neglected, do you?
Well, of course not. You don't chase other women, do you?
Of course not. In fact, quite the reverse.
I'm delighted to hear it.
I make them chase after me.
Oh.
Ah, 43A, this is it.
Do you think he's well enough to see us?
Yeah, it's only a mild attack. Last I heard, he was fine.
Hello, Terry. June, how kind of you to come.
Is Malcolm asleep?
No, but we're at rather a critical moment. Shh.
Hello, Malcolm, my man. How are you?
Shh.
Oh, as bad as that. We are very sorry.
It's there, and Ballesteros.
Well done, that man! See? Hello, Terry June. Switch it off, Beatty. I'm sorry about that, but I had rather a hefty bet on the outcome of that match.
Oh, stand a clean up, will you?
I'll say, the hospital padre owes me all of 50 pence.
Bang goes his steeple fund.
You look very well, Malcolm.
I feel it. Oh, thank you. And, how's the office coping without me?
Oh, God, I knew you were going to ask that.
All right, Terry, let's have it.
Well, you won't like it, Malcolm.
Terry, as your superior, I order you to tell me the worst.
In that case, I'm very sorry to have to tell you
Yes, what?
we're doing splendidly without you.
No, rot.
Terry, how could you? Malcolm's been ill. It was only a slight murmur.
It may have been just a slight murmur to you. Where I said it was like the Hallelujah Chorus. Are those the magazines I asked you to get for me?
Yes, I think I've managed to get the ones you wanted.
I gave Terry a tinkle a couple of days back. I asked him to get me some periodicals, help pass the time.
Financial Weekly, The Economist, and Trade International.
Oh, I'm sorry, Malcolm. You're going to forget all about business for a while.
Beatty, they're letting me out of bed tomorrow.
No, Malcolm. Oh, don't worry, Beatty. I'll get them.
No, June, don't grovel. I'll pick them up. Don't worry. I'll give you a hand.
Naughty but nice. Frills and thrills. Illustrated crackling. 10.
What?
Malcolm.
Don't look at me, Beatty. Terry must have got his own magazines mixed up with mine.
What? They're not mine.
You bought them, didn't you?
Well, yes, I bought them, but...
You certainly didn't buy them for me, did you?
Well...
Did you?
No, definitely not.
Then what possessed you to buy them?
Well... Malcolm.
No good looking at me, old boy. I've never even opened one of those magazines, let alone read one.
Ooh!
Well, Terry?
Well, Beatty, it's perfectly simple. I bought those magazines because...
Yes?
Because somebody in the office told me they got some terrific crossword puzzles in them.
Crossword puzzles?
It's absolutely mind-boggling.
Well, my mind is certainly boggling. But there's no sign of any crosswords.
No, and I feel so cheated. I mean, people will say anything to get you to buy a magazine, won't they?
I think you should take them back to the shop and get a refund.
Oh, I'm not going back there again. Oh, dear. It took me 2 gins and a pair of dark glasses to get into the first place.
Just popped in to pay my respects and gambling debts.
Oh, come in, Austin. Now, this is June, Terry, friends of ours.
How do you do?
How'd you do? And what was it? How much did you owe again?
And the wages said were 50 pence, I believe.
That will teach you to gamble.
I wish somebody would. I do it so badly.
That kind of reading matter will do his blood pressure no good whatsoever.
If it isn't Bunny Wee Nust McCardle.
Time for your 4:30 medication, Mr. Harris. And Padre, I did so enjoy your radio program on Sunday.
You mean somebody actually listened? Wonders will never cease.
I thought hospital radio was very popular.
Never on Sundays. Since they increased the guard slot to 2 hours, it's now referred to as the yawning gap. I spent hours on last week's talk, for instance.
What was it?
The inevitability of death. No one listened.
Oh, why not?
They were all watching That's Life.
Exactly. I can't compete with Sunday night television.
Well, of course you can. I mean, Vicar, have you never thought of asking for requests?
I tried that.
Did you get any?
Not the sort I wanted, no.
Have you ever thought of being controversial?
In what way?
Well, nurse, I mean, what is the main topic of discontent among the staff of the hospital here?
You mean apart from the patients?
Yes, apart from them, yeah.
Well, the quality of the food here is really terrible.
Well, there we are, Vic. It's up to you to air this controversy.
Oh, there's no controversy. Everyone agrees it's rotten.
But why is it rotten? Vicky, you should get yourself a tape recorder and do some interviews and ask some pertinent questions.
People don't talk easily to me, I'm afraid. Too often my dog collar acts like a muzzle on them.
I'm sure Terry will be very glad to do the interviews for you, Austin.
Oh, Malcolm, I'm needed at the office.
My dear chap, if they're managing without me, they're steam ahead without you.
I don't suppose it's any good, but I wrote a wee play when I was at college.
That's exactly what we want. Plays, interviews. And June, I'm sure you could do a cookery programme, couldn't you?
Well,
Of course you could. Terry, I'll leave you to arrange the details.
What?
Oh, it's most kind of you to volunteer your help.
Well, all right, but I mean, don't expect miracles, Vicar.
Well, if I don't, who can? I am in the trade, remember. However, I do know we're up against powerful opposition. One only has to glance through the television guide for Sunday evening to see... Good heavens.
Something wrong, Austin?
I had no idea there was so much in it.
That's right, dear.
June, I found it.
Next Sunday on the hospital radio.
It was up in the attic, like I said it was.
They want me to do a cookery spot.
Who are you phoning?
So I thought I'd ask you for some of your invalid recipes. Mummy.
Oh, crikey, she's an expert on that. She's been responsible for some of the unhealthiest meals I've ever had.
Well, for people recuperating.
Remember last time we ate there? I mean, her Sunday joint had seized up, and the gravy was so weak you had to have ambulance men to help without the jug.
Shut up! Oh, no, not you, dear, no. I was just wondering if you had any of the recipes that you gave Daddy when he was poorly.
Ask him for the ones she gave him before he was poorly. Those are the ones to avoid.
Oh, lovely. I'll go and get a pencil and paper. Here's Terry, dying to talk to you.
Hello, Mum. How are you? Oh, dear. I am sorry. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, crikey. It never rains but it pours, does it? No? Oh, poor you. Oh, fate seems to have tipped a whole bucket full of unluck. Oh, here's June. Yeah. How terrible. What is everything coming to? Yeah. June standing right here. No? Yes. Yeah. Oh, God. How painful. When are they taking it out? Oh, they haven't put it in yet. Well, you have to look on the bright side, don't you? It's bad enough just having to listen to you. Yeah. Mum. June. Yes, Mum. June's. Mum. Mum, shut up! No, not you, dear. No, it's June. She keeps on interrupting your endless series of fascinating incidents. Yeah, well, here's June, and keep your pecker up. Silly old crow.
You are awful. She's had a terrible run of bad luck.
I know, and I feel very rotten about it. I must stop sticking pins into that wax doll of her.
Right, oh dear, I'm ready now.
Hard to believe she's a Samaritan. No, how long have we got to get? Paid this for ages. Office Cabaret rehearsal, tape 1954. Good heavens above. Please be sure the flame of love keeps burning in her heart. Oh, what a racket. Who the hell was that?
Well done, Terry. You sang that beautifully.
It was me. I wonder what other horrors of misspent youth we've got on here.
What on earth's that?
Well, it's some old stuff I transferred from my reel-to-reel recorder, you know.
It's excruciating.
I know.
Who is it?
It's you.
It's what?
Yeah. You and your friend Doreen did that speciality for the office cabaret.
Oh, Terry, that's not me.
Yeah, you were the Kate Bush of 1954. Remember you did that belly dance?
Oh, I didn't. Oh, turn it off.
Yeah, well, not exactly a belly dance, but you both wore baggy trousers and a yashmak and a Roundtree's fruit gum stuck in your belly button.
Oh, yes, it's all coming back like a bad dream.
Yeah, people talked about it for months afterwards.
Doreen split her pants.
Yeah, that's chiefly what they talked about.
I'm afraid my nerve went.
Yes, but you kept your elastic going, that was the main thing. Oh! Look what's on the other side. Wendy's first birthday, August the 17th, 1957.
Well, I didn't know we still had that.
Yeah, remember she was slow to talk, so we got the tape recorder out to encourage her.
Oh, it's nearly a quarter of a century ago. Our little girl.
Don't be frightened, darling. Speak into the microphone.
Say, Mama, Wendy. Mama. Say, Mama for Daddy.
Or Dada, even. Say Dada, Wendy.
Oh, don't confuse her, darling. Mama.
Yeah, I'm not confusing her, darling.
Oh, try to get her to say Mama.
Dada is just as easy as Mama.
Say Mama, Wendy.
Yeah, but some kids say Dada first and Mama afterwards. Dada, Wendy.
But one thing at a time, Terry.
Or maybe she...
Mama.
Maybe she finds Dada easier. Try Dada, Wendy.
Mama, Wendy.
Dada.
Mama.
Well, now we know why she was so slow talking.
She couldn't get a word in edgeways.
Hospital food expose, report number 1. I'm standing now in the entrance to... Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm standing now in the entrance to... What's the days? I better get out of the way. I'm doing all right. Thank you. I'm standing now right next to the entrance to the hospital canteen.
Getting white?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I'm causing a traffic jam.
Well, let's say that you make a better bollard than a bypass. Now, get out of it.
Now, just a minute. I'm doing an interview for the hospital radio.
Well, what do you want me to do? Go down on one knee and kiss your hand, Mike?
No, but I thought...
Yeah, why didn't you play my record?
What?
You heard. My brother-in-law was in here with ingrowing toenails, wasn't he?
Oh, was he?
Ah, all right. I know ingrowing toenails are not very high on the list of serious diseases.
Not many die from them, no.
Ah, well, nevertheless, if you haven't got a serious disease to compare them with at the time, they are very nasty.
Well, I'm sure.
Very nasty. You ever had any?
No.
No, of course you ain't. Because if you had, you wouldn't be treating them so lightly.
Look, I'm not...
Look, I used to come in here and visit him in his ward, and he'd be lying there, brooding over them. You wouldn't like them, would you?
No, but I'm very sorry about your brother-in-law.
Yes, well, why didn't you play his record? Oh, you'd have played it quick enough if he'd been here for open heart surgery. I took a long time selecting that one to cheer him up.
What song did you want?
These boots were made for walking.
Yeah, guaranteed to take his mind off his feet, that would.
Too late now, isn't it? He's gone.
See, before you go, would you mind giving me your opinion of the hospital food?
What's wrong with it?
Everyone says it's rotten.
Rotten?
That is the general opinion, yes, so I'm doing a hospital report on it.
Bloody cheek. I am only the shop steward of the catering staff, ain't I?
Oh, well, I'd be delighted to get your side of the story.
I shouldn't bother, Sunshine. You were going to have more important news to cover.
Like what?
The lightning strike of the catering staff. Right, that's it. Mavis, Winnie, shut up shop. Be no more nosh served here today, sorry.
What you talking about? We've been queuing here for ages.
Look, I've had it up to here. Nothing but complaints. And now we're going to be made a mock of on the hospital radio. This canteen is closed until further notice.
But I'm starving.
Yes, well, don't blame me, brother. There's the agitator that broke this camel's back. Sort it out with him. Winnie, put that serving spoon down. You have ladled your last dumpling today, darling.
Bloody troublemaker. I'm famished.
Go on. Sort it out.
Doing.
By the obvious disappointment of all present, it seems that the food is more popular than was first thought. I would like to stay and collect the opinions of this hostile crowd here, but I'm just about to run out of tape. So, this is your roving reporter, Terence Medford, saying, if you're going to whip me, can we move to casualty?
I'm sorry. We have to operate. The whole leg will have to come off.
Oh, God.
I think I'm going to be ill.
You callous beast. You could save his leg if you really wanted to. You know he loves me. That's the only reason he has to have it off. Do you think we could rephrase that last line?
It is a little unfortunate, isn't it? Nurse McCardle, can you think of another expression for it?
For what?
Have it off.
Have it off? There's lots of ways of putting that.
Quiet, Malcolm. Well, I suppose you could say amputated.
Oh, dear.
Though, in her highly emotional state, she'd probably say something more brutal, like rip it off or hack it off.
Look, I know I'm being a sillykins, but if I'm going to do this play, could we keep the surgical references to an absolute minimum? Otherwise, I shall pass out.
Oh, you poor old girl. You're positively chartreuse. Open the window, will you please, Austin?
Oh, certainly. Oh, looks as the hospital staff organised some sort of jogging event. I say, Mrs. Medford, isn't that your husband out in front leading the pack?
Terry, where?
Oh, they've just appeared round the end of the building. I must say, he's certainly setting quite a pace.
I don't think it could have been Terry. I left him collecting interviews.
Perhaps he's doing a running commentary.
Shall we press on with the read-through? Ah, Mr. Medford.
Oh, darling, are you all right?
I knew it was you I saw leading the chase.
Perhaps you'd better sit down.
What was it all about?
They were after me.
Well, I think it was jolly public spirited of you to organise the event.
How did the recording go?
I got something.
Sounds like bronchitis.
Quiet, Malcolm.
On this tape, absolute dynamite. I'll wind it back. It'll take a little while.
While that's happening, we'll fill you in about the play we're going to do. You've got a marvellous part. It could have been written for you in mind.
Really? What is it?
Meredith, the head surgeon.
Ah.
An ambitious, insensitive brute with absolutely no sense of humour whatsoever.
What do you mean?
And of course, you're maddened with rage because your wife is having an affair with Mr. Harris here.
I fell madly in love with him the first time I saw him perform.
What is he, a dog?
Actually, I'm a world-famous ballet dancer.
A ballet dancer, you?
I've been trying to get them to change it to a racing driver instead.
But it's vital to the plot. I mean, take away a ballet dancer's legs and what happens?
He falls over?
It's the ruin, not only of his career, but of the perfection of his body.
The perfection of his body? It's a good job it's a radio play, isn't it?
Let's start at the beginning again, shall we?
Yes, here. The story's told in flashback during the actual operation. It's terribly clever.
Oh, thanks very much.
The operating theatre. Sounds of heavy breathing. That's you, Malcolm.
You certainly picked the right man for the job, Vicar.
Squeak! Squeak!
Have you got mice, have we?
That's the sound of the trolley being wheeled into position.
Won't we be having real sound effects?
One of the volunteer technicians is dropping by later to discuss that.
How long do I have to keep this up? I'm almost blacking out.
I'm sure you could drop it after the first few lines.
Perhaps the technician will have a record of heavy breathing.
Well, if he doesn't, I'm sure the local coppers do.
You have the first actual line, Mr. Medford.
Oh, right, yes. Check his respiration, nurse.
Clank, clank, tap, tap.
Everything in order, sir.
Scalpel.
Come on, BT, scalpel.
Scalpel, tinkle, tinkle. That's the noise of the instrument tray.
I'm about to make the first incision.
Oh, dear. Bang, bang.
Well, what's happening now? Am I taking a gun to him or something?
That's the noise of the operating theatre door banging open and your wife storming in.
Stop it, Roger. You can't go through with this.
Drusilla, what are you doing here? Are you sterile?
Mrs. Meredith, I must ask you to leave.
I refuse.
You mad woman. This is the recipe for disaster.
Do you want to kill him?
He won't dance again, but he'll learn to live with that.
On with the operation.
You fiend!
Hold her back, nurse.
She's too strong for me.
Get out, Drusilla.
Igor! Igor!
Sound of a struggle. Clatter, tinkle, crash.
Damn you, woman, that leg is coming off.
I'll have it medium rare and a bottle of the house wine to wash it down.
You've turned over 2 pages by mistake.
Terry, son. I mean, it's a little quick recovery, isn't it? On page 3 now, he's having his leg off, and on page 5, he's sitting down to a slap-up dinner.
That's where we go into flashback.
You see, on page 4, where you say, "Where did we go wrong, Drusilla? Where did this nightmare begin?" Then at the bottom of the page, she says, "It must have been at Ciro's after the ballet. That's when it begins."
What, the nightmare?
No, the flashback.
Ah, Bernie, come in.
Sorry I'm late, Rev.
Oh, this is our technician, ladies and gentlemen.
I heard there was a riot over at the canteen, but by the time I got the recorder down there, it was all over.
Fear not, young man. I have a recording here on this machine of the complete event.
Oh, fantastic. We can build a whole programme round it. Here, what sparked it off?
You'll soon see.
Well done, darling.
I'm standing now in the entrance. Oops, there's him. I'll get out of the way, shall I? Actually, I'm doing a report for...
What's happening? I don't
Oh,
understand.
this bit isn't important.
I am standing
Any second now, you'll hear what
to one
started it.
side of the entrance to the hospital canteen.
I must have knocked on the record button. I'll move it on a bit. It may get better in a minute.
If anything, that's worse.
Oh, bang goes my scoop.
Well, actually, it's not too bad.
I must say, I think it's a frightful noise, but it couldn't have started a riot.
Oh, it did when Doreen's pants split.
The speed of the modern world is responsible for so much of the unhappiness that I've been discussing. If we could all learn to slow down, just slow down.
Slow down? What is the loon on about? It's supposed to finish at 8:30. It's 9:10 now. Does this piece usually take this long?
Round here, it's known as a peace that passeth all understanding. Still, something's got to be cut. We have to close at 10.
Oh, not my play. Not that. My mother's come all the way from Greenock to hear it.
Oh, don't worry, we'll cut my cookery spot.
But you've worked so hard at it.
Can't you hurry him up? Play him at a faster speed or something?
Well, what's the signal for get on with it?
Well, it's just...
What is achieved by haste? Very little. The young cannot see it. They tend to snigger when one cites the fable of the hare and the tortoise. Only later do they appreciate how much can be accomplished with a minimum of hectic movement. Slow and steady wins the race. So I say again, slow down. Learn to distinguish between useful bustle and meaningless flurry. As the poet says, what is life full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. So in the future, let's all do a little more standing, a little more standing, and after we see our path of what we are, stand up and stir them out of existence. Oh, my God. Be with you all. Good night.
Right, that's it. You've got 45 seconds to blast off.
Right, come on, let's get this show on the road.
Good luck. My mother will love it.
Oh, I'm afraid I overran just a little.
Only by the merest 43 minutes, Vicar.
Incidentally, you all made a terrible din when you turned the pages with scripts over. So if during performance you could turn the pages away from the mic.
Oh, you mean like that? Have you got it, everybody?
Oh, yeah, very professional.
Sorry I'm late, Bernie. I had trouble finding a marrow bone.
Oh, it's all right. I'm not doing the cookery spot now.
This ain't for the cookery spot. This is sound effects.
Sound effects?
Oh, for heaven's sake, Beatty, relax.
20 seconds to go.
It's all going to be marvellous. It's just like I heard it in my head.
Get out. 15 seconds.
Before the moment of broadcasting, I would just like to say a few words in appreciation.
Later, Vicar, later.
I think I'm going to sneeze.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry, I'm definitely going to sneeze.
Oh, here.
We present The Unkindest Cut of All, a play for radio by Nurse Aileen McCardle of Jenkins Ward. The scene is the operating theatre of a large hospital.
Nurse, check his respiration.
Everything in order, sir.
Scalpel.
Scalpel.
I'm about to make the first incision.
Stop it, Roger. Roger, you can't go through with this.
Drusilla, what are you doing here? Are you sterile?
Mrs. Meredith, I must ask you to leave.
I refuse.
Oh, crumbs.
I must ask you again to leave.
And, I again refuse.
Oh. Well,
Yes.
here's a fine kettle of fish.
Oh, and here's a recipe for homemade chicken soup.
You mad woman! This is the recipe for disaster!
Yes, but can't
First, cut your chicken into small cubes.
He won't dance again, but he'll learn to live with that.
What?
On with the operation.
Oh, my God! Oh,
June, help me. Hold her back, nurse. Where are you going?
sorry, darling.
Get her outside.
She's too strong for me.
Get out, Drusilla.
Igor!
Damn you, woman, that leg is coming off. Never mind.
Pause for a moment before you ruin our lives.
Where did we go wrong, Drusilla? Where did this nightmare begin?
It must have been that night at Ciro's after the ballet. I had never loved any other man but Roger. But now, as I sat toying with my Tamarasa Lotta, the memory of Igor's manly body flashing across the stage set my poor heart racing. Here, what's your game?
And then at the next table, I heard a voice that made my whole body quiver.
I ought to knock your bleeding head off.
I'll have it medium rare with a bottle of house red too. 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 I'm afraid we have a little trouble with this recording. So until we get it back, we'll have a spot of music.
Try putting your head between your legs.
Mother was sick on the overnight coach!
I draw the line at dirty plays.
We seem to be fresh out of music just at the moment. And meanwhile, we'll carry on with something else, which we are going to have now, which is a recording of bird song at eventide. No, we are now able to bring that music I promised you in 1 second.